A tough week for the North Bulldogs ends with a 41-7 loss to Rockwall Heath as Coach Mike Fecci joins us now. And Mike, this was a bitter pill to swallow after the emotional win over Pierce the week before.
Sure was. We come off a big emotional win, a ball game that we fought hard in and were able to come out and win. And you go over to Rockwall Heath, it's their homecoming. They're a very, very good football team. They're ranked number 5 in the area for a reason. And it just didn't work out for us.
North, much like McKinney, short-handed and facing a tough opponent from Rockwall, this one at Wilkerson Sanders Stadium on Friday night. As we look at the highlights, the North Bulldogs and the Heath Hawks, who came in unbeaten at 5-0 overall and 2-0 in district play. And Mike, you saw that Heath defense and that tough rushing offense firsthand. You probably saw enough of it for one season.
I did, and as you see in these highlights, there were times we do good things. Like right here, we string the option out and Jacob McClay makes a great play, and you can see Grant Mahalik was there. We had people there in spots. They're just very consistent at what they do, and they're very good up front on both sides of the ball. We just had a tough time with that.
McClay made another play there. He's really come on for you defensive end.
He has. He played really well defensive end for us tonight. I'll tell you what else he did a great job is he punted the ball really well. It was a very stiff wind out of the south, and he punted very well into the wind. And this is a great ball from Walling to Evan Jones. Great catch towards the end of the first half to give us a chance to go score.
Basket catch by Evan Jones, who had 4 catches for 65 yards. North went 3 and out the first 3 times it had the football, but that fourth possession resulted in a Hunter Walling interception. It was 27-0 before you knew it. Just a tough environment for your players, but it's not like they gave up. They kept fighting.
No, we kept fighting the whole night. This is later in the game, and you can see we're still running to the football. We're still trying, guys are still trying to get there, and that's all you can ask of your kids is to play hard the whole night. Now, Preston Spears played very well for us inside. He makes a great play right there. And Justin DeLeon and our special teams did a good job on kickoff return. Justin hasn't had very many opportunities to do this, but he got a few the other night. This one right here does a great job. Richie Aviles gets a great block for him right there, and he's kind of one man away. But, we did some good things.
Yeah, DeLeon has a knack in the return game, not just on punts and kicks, but also when he returns interceptions.
Right. When he catches the football, he knows where he's going with it, and he doesn't hesitate, and that's what makes him a good returner.
Hunter Walling found a little more success in the second half. He finished 11 of 19 for 108 yards. Again, your defense making a play there. But the offense had a rough go overall. Selwyn Smith, your starter at running back, 13 carries for 14 yards. But Walling was able to connect here and there in the second half.
He was. We found at different times some things we can do. And Ben Ducey got to get in the game for us late, and it's a great throw to Evan Jones right here. But Hunter did play well, and Hunter's done that week after week, and Lazoya was able to get some carries for us late in the game. This is a good run by him right here to set up our score that we got, which is right here. But Hunter did play well. Hunter's done that all year long. He's been consistent. He's been steady. Like I said, week after week, you know what you get with Hunter, and as long as you know what you're getting from your quarterback, you got an opportunity to go out and be successful, and that's all we can ask from him.
You saw quite a bit from your backup quarterback on that final drive. Ben Ducey, 2 of 3. His only incompletion came on a fake field goal late in the first half. What do you think about your sophomore Ducey?
Well, Ducey's, has been one of those kids. He's had to be up on the varsity to give us a viable backup at quarterback, and we got an opportunity to get him in the game, and he went in there and he did well. He threw the ball well, he operated well, he ran the offense well, the kind of things that you would want him to see, and that's exciting for us to see, to know if that Ben can do those kind of things.
With 4 games to go, I'm sure that this past Friday night was like a bad dream for most of that. But how do you make sure your players move past that with so much ahead of them?
I think it goes back to what we've talked about a lot all year, and that's, being successful. You got to have a lot of perspective on things, and you can never be too high. You can never be too low. Things are never as bad as they seem. Things are never as good as they seem either. And when you look at that ball game right there, yes, it was a devastating loss on the scoreboard, and yeah, it didn't work out for us. But like I told them, let's be real honest here. Rockwall Heath is a playoff football team. They are one of the top 2 teams in this district, hands down. They are going to be in the playoffs. So they're going to beat other people. That's not the last game they're going to win this year. So it does not really, in theory, hurt our chances to get in. We've got to just retool, regroup, refocus, recommit ourselves to what we want to go do, and go do it this week. And I was real happy with our kids on Saturday. They came in with the sense of focus, with the sense of direction, and knew, okay, this is what we now got to go do, and they started that process of doing that. So I'm excited to see what we do this afternoon.
Crosstown Showdown coming up Friday night. as it is every year, always an intense battle. And, they always say with McKinney North, any rivalry game, you throw the records out the window. But the records, from one standpoint, do matter in this one. North at 1-2, McKinney High at 0-3. It'll be as intense as you can find, considering both teams are trying to stay in the playoff.
Sure, sure, and that was the exact message I gave to the kids today. Is you have to, this game is always that way. It doesn't matter in the previous years what anybody's record's been. But I also kind of talked about, all right, let's put ourselves in their shoes, guys, and their backs are against the wall. Our backs are against the wall somewhat too. But their backs are against the wall, and I said, you have to understand that they're going to play with a lot of passion, they're going to play with a lot of energy, and they're going to play with a lot of heart, and they're going to come out ready to go. We've got to match those things right there. We cannot just show up out there and expect it to happen for us. I have a lot of respect for Jeff Smith, not only the kind of coach that he is, but the kind of man that he is and the way that he runs his program. I think this town is better for having a guy like that over there. He's a great football coach, and he instills a lot of pride in his kids, evident of what they did Friday. They got down quick early, but yet kept plugging, kept playing, and made it into a pretty interesting ball game there for a while. So, our kids are going to be ready for it, we hope. We have to come out and establish some things early and play great defense. And we expect Sonborn to be back, and that guy's a phenomenal talent. And, what can you say about Red Shannon? I mean, the guy does it all for Jeff. And he's got others around him. They're not the only two, and so we've got to come out and be ready to go because it's going to be a heck of a fight.
You talk about playing defense, especially against those playmakers that McKinney features.
Mm-hmm.
He played defense against the Lions last year, came out with a 14-7 win, ending a 2-game losing streak to McKinney. What did that victory over a rival mean to you and the program that you're building?
Well, I think it taught us a few things that we can do things that we didn't think we could do. But on the flip side of that, that was 360-something days ago.
Sure.
They're a different team than they were this time last year. We're a different team than we were this time last year. I think our kids think about it, but at the same time, I think our kids also realize that if you look at our district race up to this point, we flipped everything from last year. Last year we beat Wiley East. This year we lost to them. Last year we lost to Pierce. This year we beat them. Last year we beat Rockwall Heath. This year they beat us. So we've got to stop that trend this week because obviously we beat McKinney last year and we need to beat them again. But I think that has taught our kids too that every week's a different week, every year's a different year. All we can do is control what we can control, and that is to go out and play hard and get after them and see where it goes.
Guy who's definitely looking forward to getting after somebody this season is your senior running back, Devin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You've been hoping he'd be able to come back this season from a torn ACL in the spring. It looks like he could be back this week. Just talk about his development and how he has stayed integrated with the team throughout his rehab.
Devin's one of those kids that has been at every drill we've done at running back. He's been at every meeting we've done at running back, and he's stayed connected to the team. And he hopefully will get an opportunity to come play this Friday. I know he really wants to. For him to come off of that. It's a tough injury to come back from at any position, much less a running back, but he's looked really well, really good the last couple weeks in practice with the things he's been doing, and he's chomping at the bit to get an opportunity, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for him.
Speaking of injuries, we talked with Jeff just a moment ago. It's like both of your programs have been snake-bitten this year, and especially with concussions. For Jeff, it's been his two quarterbacks, Robert Sonborn and Brooks Johnston. For you, you lose two key players for the season, Sam Lucchini at receiver, and of course Heath Beasley, the linebacker, before the season started. Beasley is still a big part of your team, even though he isn't on the field. But just how has the concussion, changed this game, the diagnosis of it, the testing, and obviously the legislation that's been passed as well?
Oh, I think it's changed in the standpoint that obviously you have kids missing more games than they used to. But it's for a good reason. It's for the good and the betterment of all involved. I laugh with my trainer all the time about concussions and what's the definition of a concussion, and his first response is, well, a lot of times you have a headache, and I'll cut him off and say, well, if that's the case, I had 75 concussions in my career as a player. But no, we've just, as coaches and as trainers, just become a lot more educated on it. With all the different things. Our district, and I have to compliment Coach Pratt here, our district has been at the forefront of testing for concussions with the impact testing and things that we've been doing now for a couple years. So when that bill was passed, that was something we'd already been doing for 2 years. We've been at the forefront of that. It's unfortunate for a young man, but at the same time, as I've had 2 conversations with 2 different players this year that basically we had to talk about the fact their playing days were done. I have to tell them, I said, hey, me and your mom and dad are concerned about the 40-year-old Heath Beasley or the 40-year-old Sam Lacania, not the 17-year-old Sam Lacania, because, this is just a game. Let's put it in reality. It's a game. Yes, it's what we do as coaches for a living, but it's a game. And, at the same time, we know it's hard on those kids, but we try to put it in perspective for them and say, yes, it's hard, but this is the best decision for your future as a young man. But it has changed. There's no doubt, but it's changed for the better for sure.
Mike, we appreciate the time. Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Ted. Appreciate you.
Mike Fecci, head coach of the North Bulldogs. The Crosstown Showdown draws near. Of course, it's the McKinney ISD Game of the Week. McKinney High, McKinney North, Friday night at 7:30. We're on the air at 7 on 97.5 KLAK.